Hi everybody. Can we turn around for the formation please? What about with the sign? Okay, alright, let's rotate everyone, apparently. Yeah, thanks. Okay, alright. Good. So if everyone can rotate. Thank you to everyone who's come out today. You're ready. We'll count down. Please rotate yourselves 90 degrees. This is great. Alright, so we'll do some talking now as well. Welcome to NARD 14 in London 2024. You're allowed to speak, so give it up for the animals. Yes! And give it up for yourselves and a vegan future. And give it up for world peace, because that is what we are manifesting. And just to remind everyone who doesn't already know, that being vegan is the ultimate form of activism. You are vegan people, we are the only people who are actually lining up our morals and our ethics with our actions. And realistically, everything else is performative. Despite all of us standing here with signs today, which is also performative, but performative in a good way. Vegans are the future of humanity, and everyone that's here today is so powerful and so aligned with love energy, and that is really beautiful. So, and while we do this, I'm also going to read the Declaration of Animal Rights. All beings are created equal and have a right to life, liberty, and happiness. Animals have the right to reproduce, live with their offspring, and grow in their natural environments. Yes! Animals are not human property and should be free of exploitation, abuse, and human benefit. Yes! Humans must protect animals and provide proper care to dependent animals. Yes! Animals who have died must be treated with respect and dignity. Yes! Animal rights should be recognized and protected by law. Violations should be punished as crimes. Yes! Animal rights are human rights, and our purpose is to end oppression of all living beings. Speciesism is the root of all oppression, and love is the shortcut to world peace. Yes! Amazing. All right, we're going to do one more rotation. Are we ready? 90 degrees. This is like the Macarena to the left. Locations on planet Earth, we are all coming together for the animals and for the future and for an honest perspective on our reality.
Choose love, and I choose wisdom, and I choose me, yeah, I choose me. I'm going viral all the time with an agenda in my mind. I'm happy crying in the simulation, and while you're streaming down my face, I feel empowered in this space. I'm happy crying in the simulation, but it's not normal. Who wants to be normal? Who wants to be like everybody else? And we've been brainwashed to hate ourselves, love. Who wants to be like everybody else? And I choose love. You think it's all I might be crying in the simulation. Mushroom tripping, I'm equipped to bring this service to your lips. I might be crying in the simulation, but it's not normal. Who wants to be normal? Who wants to be like everybody else? And we've been brainwashed to hate ourselves up. Who wants to be like everybody else? Then I choose love, and I choose freedom, and I choose possibility, and I choose love, and I choose wisdom, and I choose me, yeah, I choose me. I know that you're gonna wonder if you're good enough, oh baby. I can promise you that you're the universe. You're the universe. You're the universe. And I choose love, and I choose freedom, and I choose possibility, and I choose love, and I choose wisdom, and I choose me, yeah, 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 I choose me.
Thank you very much. That song is for every single vegan out there who is choosing their own philosophies of love and peace in a society that is built on hate and apathy. So give it up for the vegans. Come on, give it up for veganism. Give it up for world peace. Give it up for yourselves, for everyone who is here today. We have some amazing speakers, an incredible lineup.
Commemorate the countless animals who have suffered and continue to suffer, and to renew our commitment to creating a world of compassion and justice for all beings. Each of us have our own journey into animal rights advocacy. Mine began in 2018 when I was visiting relatives abroad. I briefly met this timid lamb, and just a few hours later, I saw some of its pieces brought to my family as part of a festival of sacrificing. I remember being in the car driving home with the body parts in a bag and couldn't stop my tears. For the first time, I had connected the fact that these animals are individuals with feelings just like us. That moment changed my world and opened my eyes. Suddenly, I couldn't unsee the injustice, the cruelty, the pain and suffering that the lamb had faced and that millions of animals face every day. I felt sick and heartbroken. I couldn't undo the years I had spent contributing to the suffering. I couldn't bring back that innocent lamb who wanted to live just like we do. But I could be their voice. And so I searched for answers. I joined outreach groups and participated in demonstrations. But that wasn't enough. There was a missing piece of the puzzle, which I found in becoming politically active. And so in 2019, I became a member of the Animal Welfare Party and have since taken part in various general and local elections. For me, standing in the elections is about bringing the issues of animal rights and speciesism into the public discourse and advocating for systemic changes that could lead to a better world for all animals. Despite animals being a significant part of our cities, unfortunately, their rights and welfare are seen as fringe issues, unworthy of political platform. And this must change. Animals can no longer be fringe. We must demand a new era of compassionate policies. And we can achieve this by being politically active and by moving towards more and more of us standing as candidates in local and general elections, raising our voices and the animal rights profile. The political arena allows us to amplify our message further. During my campaign, I have met many individuals who have understood our vision and who have begun to believe in our cause. So it is possible. Every social justice movement has gone through similar challenges and overcome them, and we shall too. So together we can pave the path to a future where all animals are treated with dignity and respect. I envision a time where no animal suffers for our convenience, entertainment, or consumption. A future where plant-based lifestyles are promoted as the only path towards an ethical, sustainable, and healthy future. We can create a future where wildlife are respected and conservation efforts are prioritized to protect the precious ecosystems we are part of but do not dominate, and also animals inhabit them. A future where teaching animal rights is a fundamental part of our schools, where our children grow up understanding the importance of treating all beings with kindness and respect. But as you know, visions are not enough, and we must continue to act. We must continue to organize, advocate, and educate. We must change the status quo that currently exists in the political arena and demand for better policies by being politically active. And we must be the voice for the voiceless and champions of the oppressed. The path to justice is long, but we must be the ones to walk it. In closing, I want to thank each and every one of you today for your commitment to animal rights. We will forever be the voice for animals. And just lastly, in the words of Martin Luther King Jr., our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Thank you.
Give it up for Femi. Yes, Femi. Femi, that was amazing, very powerful speech. Thank you so much for running on behalf of the animals and vegans in London. And tell us about the record that you broke with these votes this year.
So it's amazing that between our London Assembly and mayoral candidate votes, we got 70,000.
Give it up for 70,000. That is amazing. Because honestly, like, a critical majority is not very far away. Would you say that?
Absolutely. And when I've gone on the campaign door to door, people understand why we should be kind. It takes time to get them there, but we need more people to be able to have those discussions. And as you know, being on the political platform, it's one of the biggest platforms we have nationally. So the more people use it, the further we can reach and amplify that message.
And what would you say? Yeah, give it up, come on. Big round of applause. And what would you say to a young person that's looking to get into politics and might want to align themselves with the Animal Welfare Society? What can they do?
So they can reach out to me if they want, like on social media or otherwise, and also they can look up Animal Welfare Party. They can message, there's emails and contact details, they can message them, and we'd be more than happy to help, because we want more people to stand and we want more people to take a stance and bring, like I said, bring the animal rights issues into the main political arena. When I've been in hustings, for example, when I ran in the general elections in 2019, I was sitting next to all the other major candidates, and I had the same opportunity to convince people why they should care about animals as others had with their issues. So it's a really great opportunity for us to use to be able to amplify the message of animal rights.
Thank you so much, Femi. You're incredible. Keep it up, and we will all be voting for you next year as well. All right. Great. Give it up once again for Femi Amin. Woo! I have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
Right. Firstly, in your time working at PETA, maybe in the last year or so, what progression have you seen, and what are you excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I've been at PETA now for nearly 10 years. So, I mean, the victories that we have seen in that time, the victories that we have seen in the past 10 years have been incredible. I mean, in the past year, we have also had some amazing victories. I mean, just to think about the clothing industry, for example, and how animal skins are used. Am I not? I don't often use these microphones. So, but yeah, in the clothing industry, for example, you know, we have seen brands dropping cashmere, Angora, obviously fur, exotic skins. You know, we've seen Canada Goose drop coyote fur. House of Fraser stopped using Angora. You know, Burberry has stopped using exotic skins. You know, these are huge brands, and they are all clicking on to the fact that animals are not skins, and they're certainly not ours to wear. And it's been incredible seeing that change, you know, on the high street and, you know, at fashion weeks and, you know, at the luxury high-end department stores as well. Also, it's crazy just going back a bit further than the past year. Like in my time at PETA, when I first started, there was still wild animal circuses in the UK, which is mind-blowing when you think about now, because of course they're illegal here, they're illegal in almost every other European country. We're also seeing travel agents, you know, not promoting elephant rides in Asia, which again, when I was back at university, everyone was going off onto their gap year and riding an elephant, and now that's pretty much a banned policy, which is incredible. And, you know, marine parks, just the other month we had Jet2 Holidays cut ties with Laura Parquet and all other facilities that hold orca whales and dolphins captive, which again, back when I started, you know, Blackfish had just come out. So seeing this huge movement of people really just seeing animals as individuals has been so powerful. And of course the vegan movement, you know, again, 10 years ago, there wasn't vegan Ben & Jerry's, there wasn't vegan Domino's. You were lucky if you had one type of vegan cheese in the supermarket. And now you can walk down, you know, any high street and you can get a Greg's sausage roll. You know, you can get a burger at Nando's. Like, it really just is incredible, the steps that have been taken in terms of the vegan food movement. And yeah, it's just been absolutely amazing to see more and more people realizing this.
And I think this is empowered to, yeah, come on, give it up, let's go. This is empowered to PETA, but to everyone's individual actions and what everyone is doing with their family. So what could you say from like an activism perspective, and what we could do more? Have there been any obstacles, and what can we do to surmount these?
Yeah, I mean, so PETA's founder, Ingrid Newkirk, I mean, she could say a hell of a lot better than I could. But she always reminds, you know, whenever she's doing these interviews, that it is on us to provoke conversation, because people have been taught to disregard the feelings of cows and pigs and chickens and bears and fish. And it is on us to challenge that status quo, rock the boat. You know, it's not a popularity contest. What we were trying to do is to get people thinking, and that's why certainly at PETA you know, we try and find an approach that works for everyone. You know, that's why we do the protests. It's why we do undercover investigations. It's why we'll do vegan food giveaways. Or, you know, my department, we do a lot of the more like quirky PR stunt stories that you might see. And it's because everyone is moved by something different. And that's why it's so powerful for all of us to just never stop talking about animals, because we know that silence is any social justice cause's worst enemy. And that's why, especially nowadays in this, you know, age of social media, we can all be micro-influencers. You know, you can either make your own content or you can share someone else's, but it is incredible how far that can spread the word, when it might, you know, it might seem sort of performative activism, but at the same time, you know, not everyone likes going up to people in the street or handing out leaflets. But that being said, PETA does offer free materials that anyone can hand out. We have vegan starter kits, we have leaflets. If you are someone who can take to the streets and talk about it with strangers, amazing. If you're someone who would like to leave them in, you know, the doctor's waiting room or on a bus, like, do that too. It's amazing what people will pick up when, you know, they're at a loose end. So there are so many ways that we can all be activists in our day-to-day. You know, it doesn't have to be something as momentous as this, as incredible as it is to see. You know, it's about those small actions that we all take day-to-day that add up and just get people thinking.
I think just being vegan is activism in itself, and I think that there is no like wrong way to do activism. I think that using your voice, like you said, in every situation, and often we're forced into activism as vegans. Would you agree with that? Because like you can't escape a day where you have to explain yourself to someone as to why you can't eat this or why you can't do this. So at the end of it, like, just existing as a vegan is so powerful, and I think that you've really brought that to life today. What do you see for the future? What's next for PETA? What's happening?
Well, we've got some, I mean, we've always got big campaigns coming up, but we are actually approaching the start of bullfighting season in Spain. So next month, PETA is going to be in Pamplona doing a huge protest against the running of the bulls, which of course is an archaic spectacle, which, you know, most Spanish people do not support either. And we do this with a Spanish animal rights group called Anima Naturalis. And, you know, we are very much calling for the mayor of Pamplona to end all bullfighting. So anyone who would like to support that campaign, you can find out more on the PETA website. We are also campaigning against the University of Bristol to end the cruel forced swim test, which, for anyone who has not heard of this very niche experiment, it is when a mouse or a rat is dropped into an inescapable beaker of water and they are forced into a drowning simulation. And then the experimenters measure the animal's level of despair when they start to float and stop swimming. And then after this horrific near drowning experience, they are then killed and their brains are dissected. And we have recently heard from the Home Office that they are going to place restrictions on this experiment, which means that the University of Bristol is really being backed into a corner and all eyes are on them, but they are still managing to get away with using it. And that's why we're really amping up our campaign, calling on them to end it.
That's amazing.
Discrimination and violence towards others, mostly for arbitrary reasons and ego. It is estimated that the total number of humans killed in war throughout history ranged from 150 million to a staggering 1 billion humans dead. And this number continues to rise as we find new reasons to kill our fellow human brothers and sisters. But there's also been another forgotten war taking place, a war that the vast majority of the population do their best to ignore, or in some cases even ridicule. Across the United Kingdom, over 300,000 farms hold innocent life captive, their only crime being a different species. And with each of these individuals having the date of their own execution planned from the second they enter this world. In our oceans, be it by hooks, nets, or even spears, we forcibly drag others from their homes to suffocate and suffer to death on the ship's deck. Or maybe by hanging by a hook through their face for someone's sick idea of a hobby. Laboratories hold prisoners to burn, dissect, and poison, all in the name of apparent scientific progress. Zoos display captives in wire cages and glass tanks, all for our entertainment under the guise of conservation. While outside, we trade their bodies, breeding and selling those that we deem worthy to keep as property in our houses. We force them to risk their lives for sport, We can modify their bodies for fashion, and we separate families to steal their bodily fluids. The war on animals is relentless, brutal, and unforgiving. If we take a look at just those animals killed for food in the UK in a single year, this equates to over 6 billion individuals. That would equate to killing around 75% of the entire world's population in 1 year. The death count and suffering of this war cannot be understated. Yet despite urgency and the scale, the world remains silent, taught to accept the suffering, fed propaganda that what is happening is necessary, and fed lies that something humane happens along the way. This war is so unacknowledged, in fact, that even their own movement's allies fail to stand up for them, leaving the fight to the 1% of the 1%, like people like you today. The rest seemingly happy to stand up for every other world issue, but the vegan issue they proudly identify as in their social media bios and in their usernames. When literally trillions of animals worldwide are being enslaved and killed, how am I not stood here talking to thousands of people right now? Do their lives matter that little? We all agree that discrimination's wrong. Racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, classism. Isn't it time that speciesism had a spot at the table? How can we claim to be against oppression while we literally oppress every non-human being on this planet? How can we really talk about justice and equality while shoving the dead bodies of others in our mouths while we do so? Animals may be different to us, but they are the same in every way that matters. They feel, they are sentient, they can suffer, they are others, not objects, and they deserve respect and our protection. Now, as someone who has been involved in undercover work over the years, I have witnessed firsthand how we use and abuse animals in this society, and it is shameful and sickening. Mother pigs trapped in cages for weeks on end where they can't turn around. Helpless birds bred to become so big they can't support their own body weight and collapse and die from not being able to reach food and water. Dairy mothers lying weak and helpless on a concrete floor after seeing their children born and stolen away from her so many times her body can't take any more. And I've lost count of how many times I've looked these animals in the eye just moment from death at the slaughterhouses. I don't want to hear, oh, but our farm doesn't treat them this way. Oh, I only buy free range, and all these other bullshit excuses. There is no humane way to use, exploit, and kill someone. It's nothing more than a fairy tale to keep people blind, keep the money rolling in, and it is disgusting. The things I've witnessed will stay with me forever. And it's time for all of us to make a stand and say enough is enough. This ends now. I truly believe the adoption of veganism is one of the most radical acts of justice a person can make. No other justice issue that I'm aware of requires so much immediate personal change. From the day you become vegan, you are against 99% of society. From everything you eat, every item you buy, everywhere you visit, every choice you make is now guided by a moral requirement to eliminate animal use from your life, and you are literally surrounded by it. You risk becoming an outcast, being ridiculed, having to defend yourself about people who are triggered by your choices. And you know what? You should be damn fucking proud of yourself for being brave enough to stand up for what is right in a world that is totally against you. For someone who actually takes action and doesn't just virtue signal. But things shouldn't stop there. Being vegan is incredible. But if we want to see liberation for these animals, we need to do more than just not partake in their exploitation. We need to actively fight against it. Now, unlike a lot of issues in this world, this issue is something we can actually do something against, because we are the oppressor. These animal exploiting industries exist because we demand they exist. We are literally paying the hitman. And because of this, we have the power to turn people against the system and work together in pressuring these industries to stop for good. Without support, they are nothing. This is how we build a movement. This is how we push for animal liberation. And people need to see that people need to see that the animal rights cause is serious. This is not a joke. Yet, with human issues seemingly always being the focus of attention, we are continually told this isn't the time. If not now, when? When is the right time to stand up for animals? We can't wait for humans to just sort out all their problems before we deal with the animals. They were here before us. And when in the time I've made this speech, more animals have been killed than the population of this entire country, why are we not capable of caring about more than one thing at a time? The animals need us now. If you're not on board yet, now is the time. Stop looking for excuses, wake up, do the right thing. Veganism is just a stance against animal abuse. It's not weird, it's not extreme, it's having a heart and standing up for what's right. I truly believe we are all good people and no one wants this happening to animals. And I just really hope my words today can help dismantle some of that conditioning you may have. Please join us in their fight for freedom. And if you're already vegan, now is the time to take action and speak even louder. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Be proud to be part of this movement. And remember that you have the power to create real-world, tangible change for animals who desperately need their freedom. Get angry, shout loud, speak up for them like you would want to be spoken about if you were in their position. This hell needs to end. And we are literally all these animals have. Please don't let them down. Thank you for listening.
Give it up for Chris Hines! Chris, that was amazing. You're so passionate. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your soul.
Thanks for having me
with everyone today.
All right, yeah. Okay. All right, next we have a doctor in the house. Dr. Minu Patel, aka Dr. Iron Junkie. He is in a new cinematic release that has just come out, which is called I Could Never Be Vegan. I Could Never Go Vegan, which I'm sure we've heard many times when we try and do our activism. So, Minu.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Come on, give it up for Minu Patel. All right, we'll be doing a short Q&A. First question I have for you is, what is the progress that you have seen in the medical industry in the last 12, 24 months that has made you feel confident about a vegan future?
Yeah, it's a good question because I was just having a discussion with one of our other doctors here, Dr. Shireen Kassam. Until we actually convince health professionals and health organizations that a vegan diet is suitable for people of all ages, we're not going to see a vegan world. We need our health professionals, we need nutritionists and everyone on board with this so that we can move forward, because otherwise we're not going to see legislative change. And I'm in two minds, because on one hand, obviously I see people promoting things like the carnivore diet, which is actually one of the most dangerous things I've ever seen when it comes to nutrition. But I am seeing more and more health organizations throughout the world promote a healthy plant-based diet. It's not 100% vegan diet. There are some organizations that do promote that, but mainly I'm seeing a shift away from animal products. And this isn't just because of animal rights. I think people do think about that, but they put it in the back of their mind. It's a secondary thing. But what people seem to be most concerned about is their own personal health and also the health of our planet. These two things are, there's a catastrophe we're actually facing, a health crisis and a climate crisis. And it just so happens that a healthy vegan diet is the solution to the health crisis and a planet that is sick and dying because of climate change. So I think once we get enough people on board and push through that a vegan diet is the answer to all of Earth's problems, then we will see a vegan world.
So vegan for individual and collective health.
Exactly, personal and planetary health.
And what obstacles are there? So you mentioned obviously that not everything is already at the point where we need it to be. What can we do as activists to help move this forward?
Yeah, so I mean, one part of it is being active, like everyone here today, amazing. Thank you so much for everyone for being here today and standing up for the animals. And doing this is one part of it, raising your voice, using your voice, campaigning, getting involved in politics, the music industry, what you're doing with music, and just shouting loud for veganism is one part of it. Joining organizations helps, so there can be organizations that do street activism, Plant-Based Health Professionals UK is the organisation I'm part of, and anyone can be a member, so you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a nurse or a medical professional. We have access, like a membership option for people who haven't got clinical background, so everyone here can join that organisation. You can donate a small fee as well, and if you're an active member, you can get involved, you can learn more about healthy plant-based diets. I'm sure a lot of people get asked about how they eat healthily, because everyone seems to be so concerned about your health when you go vegan. Where do you get your protein? Where do you get your B12? What about supplements? All this stuff. Everyone has an answer or a question about it. If you're part of this organization, Plant-Based Health Professionals UK, you'll get all those answers. You'll learn more. We've got a conference coming up in November, so that's a huge way of actually empowering yourself with the knowledge, being confident that you can look after yourself. Because you've heard that the trope that vegans, they're deficient, they're unhealthy, all this rubbish. Well, if you don't look after yourself and be the best version of yourself, you need to do that for the animals. You need to be the best version of yourself you can possibly be for the animals. And I understand obviously people have health issues and stuff, and it might be more difficult. But if you're doing your best and you know the best about your nutrition and you stay healthy, you can fight harder for the animals. So getting involved with plant-based health professionals is something I really do recommend everyone here do today. So even if you don't become a member, go on their website, look at the work we do, because I think it's something you should know about. And actually, when you're sitting in front of your doctor, I'm sure many of you have sat in with your doctor or GP, you've mentioned you're vegan, and sometimes they're supportive, sometimes they're not so supportive. Well, actually, you can say, well, have you seen this website? Point them to it, get them educated as well. Because like I said at the start, if the health professionals aren't educated on a healthy vegan diet, then how can we ever hope the whole world will go that way as well? So educate your doctors as well.
Amazing. And can you tell us a little bit more about the film that you're in?
Yeah, so the film is called I Could Never Go Vegan, and I was privileged to play a small part in it. It's actually made by the Pickering brothers, James and Tommy Pickering, and it follows like the journey of one of the brothers who, he's been vegan for many years. He was basically raised vegetarian, then went vegan slowly after he learned about eggs and dairy. But he sort of calls his mum up and says, why did you raise me not eating meat? And then the film sort of follows like all the common excuses that people give, and one by one just dismantles them. The ethical reasons, the health reasons, the climate change, protein, all these different things. And it just follows like different athletes. There's interviews with doctors, climate scientists, the vegan pig vet as well. Some of you might have heard of her. She's in also like, Pig and other things. So it just does it in a really nice way, which I don't think other documentaries have done. And it's really British as well. We've not really had a British documentary that plays on British values, and it's light-hearted in a way, but also really serious. So it takes you on this emotional roller coaster. And I think if you haven't seen it already, I encourage you, once it is out on streaming platforms, to go see it. And encourage every non-vegan to see it, because we had non-vegans in the audience that really, coming away from it, were like, they're gonna have to rethink their whole lives, because once you watch that movie, you can't find yourself disagreeing with any point in it.
That's amazing. So it's another documentary to add to our list, including Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, What the Hell, Pignorant. Yeah, fantastic. All right, and what do you feel optimistic about in the future?
Well, I think it's a growing movement, and veganism is a growing movement. The more and more people do it, the more active we get, the more we convince other people to go vegan. I think the power of social media, we're seeing the things that happen to animals on our screens every day. People are speaking up for it. there's a quote, I think statistical quote that if 25% of a population starts believing or doing something, it's inevitable that the entire population will change. I think there's about 1 or 2% vegans in the entirety of the UK, so we're quite far off from that 25%. But the fact that there is a number there that we need to aim for and strive for, getting 25% of all people to buy into veganism and believe that it is the correct thing to do. I think a lot of people at heart do realize what we do to animals isn't right, but it's just helping them cross over into actually aligning their actions with their morals. And once we get enough people there, just 25%, the entire world will change.
Yeah, we need that critical majority, so I think it's good that everyone here is working towards that. And what do you have coming up next?
Personally, nothing, but plant-based health professionals, again, they're holding a conference in November. They've partnered up with another organization to try and get plant-based meals into hospitals. So obviously, you've seen the food in hospitals. A lot of it's not very vegan-friendly. A lot of it is not very health-friendly either. So plant-based health professionals, again, is doing a lot of work behind the scenes to try and push through more plant-based options in hospital, try and get rid of some of the horrific process and meat items that you find in hospitals as well, and so that's what they're working on, and also conferences as well. So I encourage you to check out their website, Plant-Based Health Professionals. You can actually sign up and actually join the conference and educate yourselves as well.
And let's just document this here and now. You mentioned about the carnivore diet before, and it's actually been debunked by himself, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the person who made the carnivore diet famous recently came out in a podcast episode. I'm not going to name him to give him...
Let's not give him the platform.
So
yeah.
He came out in a podcast actually saying that his health deteriorated when he tried this diet, and he started then introducing carbohydrates and fruit back into his diet. And if you look at his diet now, it's a lot more fruit than it is meat. So that's just... It just says something about the diet.
Fruitarian future for...
Much fruitarian with a side of animal flesh, but anyway.
All right, there you go. Thank you. Give it up for Dr. Minal Patel, Dr. Iron Junkie.
Hi. I just wrote a really cute poem. Enjoy. It's called If I Could Wake Up on a Vegan Planet. If I could wake up on a vegan planet, how peaceful it would be. No animal was murdered for the pleasure, selfishly. That we didn't quarter, fry and carve and pair it with the perfect glass. Pull skin, drill horns or suckle teats, just to make a cheeky little something sweet. Now I've rhymed a little to settle in, the perfect rhythm to begin. Because hi, I'm Anastasia, been vegan for 6 years. And if I could wake up on a vegan planet, how hopeful it would be. Not waking up to the smell of charred flesh, not having to fight for morality, not being judged for the choice not to kill. Our love of Mother Earth restored, fulfilled. Because where does the medicine come from? Plants. Where does our protein come from? Plants. Where does our life force come from? Plants. To add a murdering filtration system, we can't. If I could wake up on a vegan planet, how joyful it would be. To place my hand against the grass and not feel the acres of torture surrounding me. The lies we hear separating meat from murder, the farce, forward to a world of oppression, control, and subjugation. The rewind to silence and manipulation. Yet we are so fickle in our temporary senses, and the lies we're force-fed like a cow. Breeder, addicted to the cries of pain. Herd, feeder, silent to not inflict pain. The irony. If I could wake up on a vegan planet, how silent it would be. The war inside us won, and speciesism rooted. Vegan for all the animals, not spoken through a megaphone, nor the screams of dogs and cats shared on all our phones. Our vibration of peace, of love, of safety for all, those animals to be alive. Now, if I were a fish swimming in the sea, would you even notice me? I could just live. And all you humans could too. World hunger solved, food scarcity solved, all history. So I'd rather be vegan. So I could wake up on a vegan planet, and how alive it feels. Centered and grounded, peaceful and loving. I really, really like it here. Be vegan. Now, often people ask me how difficult it is to stop choosing murder. Well, I say, if you like animals, you wouldn't think twice, or are you just a pet lover? I say that when your intention is true, habits form effortlessly. So ask yourself how you became so comfortable. Desperately, your body asks to consume less suffering. So stop accepting such pain because you're buckling, buffering, spluttering. There is no excuse for animal abuse. So don't eat, ride, or wear, test on or stare. Take the sign, take the leap, listen to what we say. Because what better way to start than on National Animal Rights Day? Be vegan.
Give it up, Anastasia! Jacobs, who is a speaker and climate activist. Bro, the stage is yours.
Hello. Yeah, okay. Anyway, like this. Hello. My name's Belle, and I work across several areas. I describe myself as a writer and speaker for climate justice, animal rights, and new systems of fashion, because I used to be a fashion editor. And sometimes I just want to remind people that all of those areas, they're interlinked. They do not exist separately. I run a website called The Empathy Project, in which I try and use some of my writing skills to reframe human and animal relationships, wildlife trade, the leather industry, animal experimentations, beagles, foxes, pangolins, whales. No matter where I looked, I saw another species victimized in dreadful ways. And finally, of course, animal agriculture, the leading cause of deforestation, of water pollution, of carbon emissions, of biodiversity loss, yes, species extinction, yes, human disease, yes, but also of harrowing, unrelenting animal cruelty. And as I started to campaign about them more and more, I realized that the problem was more deep-rooted, more systemic than I'd ever realized, and that, in fact, every single vestige of civility and civilization, our food, our clothing, our entertainment, cultural traditions like Christmas and Easter, is underpinned by the suffering of the weak and the vulnerable. 6 years ago, I became vegan in protest, in rebellion, in anguish. It has been a journey of both joy and despair. Joy because advocacy for animals is my lifeblood. Joy because I've been released from myths of consumption and exploitation, but despair and grief because the killing never ends. We live in a world where every day animals are fighting for their lives, where they struggle to get back up when they slip in the blood of their brothers and sisters, to get back to each other, to comfort each other in places of horror and death. They want only peace, they want affection, they want safety, they want the company of each other. And you know better than I the pitiful inadequacy of their efforts against the sheer onslaught coming their way, the seemingly indomitable will to use them, harm them, exploit them. You know better than I how rare it is for them to find their way to sanctuary and to the love and care they so deserve. Animals are brothers and sisters in this broken world we have built for them, the most innocent of us all. I always find new ways in which humans have exploited animals, and recently on my social media feeds I came across bullfighting. And I know about bullfighting, of course. What I did not know was that before they're released into the ring, they are kept in isolation, in dark cells without food and water for days before the fight, that right before the fight they're stabbed with sharp harpoons, that their horns are shaved so that they don't understand the weight of their head anymore. And in this terrible state, they are then released into this ring where they have to fight for their lives. And there are countless incidences of bulls trying to get back to the people who've raised them, or trying just to escape, to get out of that ring. They don't want to fight, they're scared. And then this one image came up on my social media feed, and it was an image of a matador and a bull facing each other, and the bull standing there with the swords in his back, and the matador sitting exhausted in front of him, and the bull still reaching out with his head to make some kind of contact with the man who had been hurting him so badly just minutes before. And I looked at this image and I thought this gesture could only be read in this way. Peace now, brother. Enough now. And I tell you this story to remind you of the depths that we have reached in our relationship with animals, but also the depths from which we can rise. So I have come to understand these two things. The first, that animals are our way, if we allow them to be, into a far deeper connection with the natural world than we have so far experienced. And that every encounter with every animal is a moment of magic, of true joy, a communion with the ecology of the earth that we so desperately need now. The second thing, as I have watched the world crumble and nature destroyed and countries slip into ever more brutal wars like the genocide in Gaza, that all turmoil is created by constructed narratives of power and the expendability, the exploitation of the innocent and vulnerable. All oppressions are truly linked. And that until we address our broken relationship with animals, the most vulnerable of us all, we will never be able to address the other systemic disasters, the other injustices threatening life on this planet today. Animal rights is our ground zero. All these thoughts come together in the words of my friend Leonard Fitzpatrick. It is in the hearts and through the eyes of non-human animals that we have the chance to discover the essence of true humanity, the immutable power of nature's complex richness, and the innate right of all beings to inhabit and live in this world, their world, a world they share with us. For many, the jarring reality they are afraid to confront and accept is this: this world and all within it exists for its own purpose, not for us to control and own and degrade and destroy. It's not all about us, period. When we collectively awaken and respect all life without any condition and cease the abuse, exploitation and cruelty to others, non-human and human, we will finally reach our potential as stewards and fellow beings equally respectful of the rights of all to live upon this earth, our potential as stewards, as the caretakers of life that we were always meant to be, in a natural world that is flourishing and restored, in which we stand up for the chance of a stable planet for our children and for all other species. This is the collective spiritual transformation that we could achieve when we finally recognize our true kinship with other animals. And so the time has come to detoxify, depoliticize veganism, animal rights activism, to reclaim those terms from the myths that continue to plague them, and instead embrace them, proclaim them for the philosophies of deep compassion that they have always been, the beliefs they have always embodied, that of life, of love for all life on earth. And we need to prepare the ground for that transformation by raising the status of animals wherever we see them being sidelined. And when we leave this place in every gesture with intelligence, with sensitivity, with determination, we bring the animals back into the center of people's consciousnesses, where they belong. And we remind them of their grace and beauty and how much we have to learn from animals, to the point where it becomes impossible for anyone to eat them or hurt them or enslave them, because we will have finally evolved beyond that. I want to close now with two thoughts, and the first is to you, the activists, in the words of Philip Wallen. Animal rights activists like you are the bravest of all first responders, because you confront a deeply entrenched status quo of vested interests, industry, politics and culture. You are Lincoln's better angels of our nature, the beacon on the hill, and a day will dawn when civilization will owe you a debt of gratitude it can never repay. And I believe that so much of everyone sitting here today. And finally, to the animals, in the words of Emma Hurst, member of the New South Wales Legislative Council in Australia, our promise to the animals is this: you have all of us. The lioness in the circus, we see you. The pig in the sow stall, we see you. The mouse in the medical experimentation facility, we see you. The fish crushed at the bottom of the trawler net, we see you. The fox hunted, we see you. The mother cow who's lost her baby, we see you. We see you. We know you're suffering, and we will never be silent. We will push forward no matter what life throws our way, because the cruelties inflicted on you must end, and we will do all we can to see that happen. You have, all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bar. That was so beautiful. Do you just want to tell everyone about your talk that you have coming up on Friday?
I have a really beautiful activist coming into the Islington Climate Centre on Friday. Her name is Emma Hackinson. She is the founder of Collective Fashion Justice. She's managed to bring animals right into the heart of the conversations about fashion, to some really mainstream industry-led areas where they have been so ignored. 1 billion cows killed for leather every year in unspeakable circumstances. There are no welfare laws protecting the animals in the fashion trade. She's coming to the Climate Centre on the 7th. Please join us. I'll ask her all about her work, how she communicates these issues with such sensitivity, but also in the final hour, how we can move forward collectively to change the world for all.
Give it up for Belle. Thank you so much, Belle Jacobs. All right, we have Ella Barlow, who is the founder of New Beginnings Sanctuary. Can we talk a little bit about what drives you, what makes you want to be an animal activist, and what made you want to found New Beginnings Sanctuary?
Well, probably like everyone else here, seeing what animals go through and realising that not only can we not be a part of it, but the people that we love around us, we don't want them to be a part of it. When I first found out about animal agriculture, it was just an obvious click to me that we would be out fighting against something like this. It's the same with the sanctuary as well. Being an activist, we know that with sanctuaries, I'm sure a lot of you go to sanctuaries local to you, we know that there is not enough space for all the animals that are rescued. We know that there's not enough funding for sanctuaries, but until you start spending time in sanctuaries, you don't realise actually how huge that was. And spending time at the Retreat Sanctuary in Ashford made us realise actually how much we wanted to help, and we had some space, we got whatever animals we could make homes for.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the animals that you look after.
Okay, so it started mainly with sheep. Sheep, because so many lambs are born around lambing seasons, there is a lot of wonderful activists out there that help take them out of these places, and then there's homes that are needed. And obviously knowing Billy at the retreat, he would come and say, do you have space for this lovely resident? And it slowly built from there. So now we have 19 wonderful sheep, 6 goats, 2 pigs, and about 23 chickens I think we have now, all wonderful individuals. And that's the bit that I can't stress enough, is so many people see them as sheep, pigs, chickens, but once you spend time with them, you see them as the individuals that they are. No sheep is alike, no chicken is alike, no pig is alike. They all have such different personalities, just like humans, and I feel like that is really important for people to know.
And how can people help New Beginnings Sanctuary? How can we help you look after more animals? How can we help you look after the animals that you currently have?
Okay, so with every sanctuary, obviously funding is hard. There is not enough money in the world for the amount of animals that we want to save, obviously. But money aside, you don't need money to help sanctuaries. You can volunteer your own time. But that alone, being vegan and being active is the biggest thing that you can do to help sanctuaries. Because as much as sanctuaries are my favourite place to be, I don't want them to exist. I don't want us to have sanctuaries. I don't want to have to keep animals away from harm. I want them to be free from harm in the normal day-to-day. So yeah, being active and speaking up for the animals and stopping the amount of animals that are in need of these sanctuaries is the most important.
Thank you very much.
Our planet, there's two. Why should it matter that one goes moo? Sounds different to you, yes, but sentient nonetheless. Feels suffering much the same. Tries to escape in the presence of pain. Our planet, there's two. Why should it matter that one goes cluck? Is it a bird, a plane, a duck? In a cage, they all feel stuck. Trapped with only one fate, a roasted bird upon your plate. Our planet, there's two. Why should it matter that one goes nay? To be rode on just for play? It wasn't intended to be this way. To gallop should be to be free, not weighed down by human decree. Our planet, there's two. Why should it matter, or why should you care? Top of the chain, they shout. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Causing suffering because we can. Oh, what a wonderful plan. But the suffering we can stop. It does little to stay on top. We can live in peace and love. No need to release some doves. Our planet, there's two. Because if you were them, you'd scream it too.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Give it up for Paolo.
Different shape.
Open your eyes and see me. I'm just like you and I want to survive. I feel joy, I feel pain, I feel fear again and again. Open your eyes and see me. Open your heart and listen. This is my life, it's a prison. I feel love, I feel grief. Please don't take my family from me. Open your heart and listen. So much destruction. Just look at what you've done. You say that it's your choice, but why don't I get one? Open your eyes and see me. Open your mind and awaken. Realize that you're mistaken. There is no light, there is no peace. When will this torture ever cease? Open your mind and awaken. Open these gates and free me. See how I love the sun on my back. I'm just a baby and this is my curse. See how you'd feel if the roles were reversed. Open these gates and free me. So much destruction. Just
My name is Tak FM. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been vegan and teetotal for 7 years. It has really it channeled my creativity to different heights to create something that's wholesome and universal as well. So the first song I'll be singing for you guys is called FTW, or Leave Me Alone. Thank you.
Civil defense officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been I can't quite make sense of my place in the world. Am I in or out of this world? I can't quite make sense of myself in the world. Am I in or out of this world? And now, will you cancel me from your fucking plans? Because I'm different from you. You're right, it falls on my face, becomes my tears. You're right, it falls so heavy on me. My tears, my fears. I can't quite make sense of your shit in the world. Am I brave enough for this world? I finally learned to love myself in the world. Am I pure enough for this world? And now, will you cancel me from your fucking plans? Because I'm different from you. You're ready for some my fears, becomes my tears. Your rain falls so heavy on me, my tears, my fears.
Light up your being in the flesh of joy. May your voice be heard. In the utter silence, spread your wings and fly home. Fuck this world. Leave me alone, son. Leave me alone, son. Leave me alone, son. Thank you. Thank you. 7 years, I was teetotal 7 years ago as well at the same time.
And tell us how it intersects with your artistry.
I think it's this way of being able to channel your spirit and your power from Mother Earth to a truth narrative that really pervades space and meaning to people. I think one of the greatest examples of a vegan pop icon is Billie Eilish.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to meet her mother last year.
Yeah.
And I was able to convey to her that someone has such a voice and can convey their voice to millions. It's because of a plant-based and teetotal value as well that pervades not only her but her family, and she was brought up that way. So I think that's really powerful in making something who stands by their values and has a really high value in our place in the world.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your soul with us today and your artistry.
Thank you.
And check them out. It's Tech FM.
My name is Ria Gada. I'm a musician, I'm a singer-songwriter and producer. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my vegan story after the song, but basically I entered this global songwriting competition and you had to write about the planet Earth, about its wonders, our responsibility to protect it, as well as animals. And I won. So I would like to share this song with you today. My main focus, although I'm quite early in terms of sharing, although I'm quite early in my journey of, animal rights, I've been vegan for 2 years, but I just wanted to show how powerful it is to express veganism through music, love for the environment through music, which I don't think enough people are doing. So yeah, this is called Miraculous Wonders. I'm looking through my window to the sky, thinking there has to be more color to this life. I'm not talking about witches and potions or magical mermaids or horses that fly. I wanna know the wonders of this planet, not a rabbit that tells the time. So I watched that sunset and I followed that rainbow till the end. Oh, I climbed those mountains and I sailed the oceans. Then out of nowhere, these mythical creatures came to show me their ways. They told me they came from some wonderful place with naturally hot springs, baby pink lakes, rainbow mountains, crystal caves. Miraculous wonders. Once upon a time I believed in only fairy tales. You could see dreams, but you don't have to live in Wonderland to see this earth as a gem and being shown of the world I already live in, just through a different type of lens. How did I never know there was always beauty right in front of me? These mythical creatures came to show me their ways. They told me they came from some wonderful place with naturally hot springs, baby pink lakes, rainbow mountains, crystal caves. There's life in the water, but they're all so scared. These creatures, they come out when you're not there. Next time you're in the water, just look and learn. Admire from a distance. They're part of the earth, part of the earth. These mythical creatures came to show me their ways. They told me they came from some wonderful place with naturally hot springs, baby pink lakes, rainbow mountains, crystal caves. 7 miles deep. We speak of a universe of your wildest dreams.
Thank you so much. Music is universal, right? Even clothing. Clothing is slightly women biased, debatably. But music is universal, and there's not enough musical artists. Yes, Billie Eilish is vegan, but it's not a common knowledge. We have Leonardo DiCaprio in the film industry, but I think music is my direction. So basically, after I won this competition, I got approached by Barnet Council because they saw this link between music and animals and the ecosystem and veganism, how it could all just merge and especially inspire the youth, right? The youth is who we need to target, and we need to make it cool. We need to make it cool to care, because at the minute it's not. So I'm actually going to be working with the council to kind of go into schools, show it is cool to care. It's not cool to be mysterious and nonchalant. Like, we're humans, we have hearts, they have hearts. So this is just the beginning, but it's very, very promising. Like, showing all this through music. My name is Ria Gada, by the way, so you can follow me on socials.
Yeah, like I said, make sure you follow Ria and all the other artists on social media and check out their stuff. Stream vegan artists. The algorithm is real. We have the power to amplify these voices, these conscious voices that need it the most. So yeah, thank you very much. All right, thanks, Ria.
You and me and the universe has set us free to be who we are and what we could be, and I love it, baby. I've been craving God, I've been craving God, I've been craving God, I've been craving God. Whoa. Baby, we're the future and we're gonna get it right, 'cause the universe is love now and we're all taking a flight to who we are, to who we are. 'Cause you're a goddess and a superstar, and I'll sing this a bit slower if you like it, if you like going inward on the acid trip of life. To who we are, to who we are, to who we are, to who we are. When the simulation brings you to your knees and you realize that you believe, 'cause I affirm myself tonight. I'm the reason that I'm here and I chose this life. I am who I am. We are who we are. I am who I am. And we are who we are. I've been craving God, I've been craving God, I've been craving God. Let's just talk about oneness, baby. You and me and the universe has set us free to be who we are and what we could be, and I love it, baby.
Sit down.
Stand for the Animals have their 4th annual memorial service, Sunday the 7th of July, 1 p.m. at Marble Arch. Can we all be in attendance for that as well? Lastly, Saturday the 17th of August, 12 p.m, we have the National Animal Rights March. That's happening in Marble Arch, just over here. Please, can we all come out in numbers? We used to have thousands and thousands and thousands of people at this event, pre-pandemic. It would be great to see those type of numbers again.